Hello everyone. Today we will continue with the KAS 2017 Polity questions. For today the first question will be, which one of the following writs is issued by the High Court to a lower court or a quasi-judicial body to stop proceedings in a particular case where it has no jurisdiction? So these are the four writs they have given: habeas corpus, prohibition, quo warranto or certiorari. It is issued by the High Court to a lower court or a quasi-judicial body to stop proceedings in a particular case where it has no jurisdiction. So, in case of writs, both Supreme Court as well as High Court can issue writs. So, the five types of writs issued by the Supreme Court as well as High Court are habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition and quo warranto. As I had explained in the last class, habeas corpus is, the meaning is you may have the body. That means the court asks a person who has in case detained another person to present the latter in front of the court. So that is habeas corpus. The second one is mandamus, that is we command. It is issued by the court to a public official to perform his duty properly. If he is not performing his public official duty, then the mandamus is issued for him to oblige to perform the duty, asking him to oblige to perform the duty. The third one is certiorari, that is to be certified or to be fully informed of. That is it is issued by a higher court to a lower court. Next one is prohibition, that is to prohibit. Here in this case, in case of prohibition, it is also issued by the higher court to a lower court or any quasi-judicial body to prohibit the lower court from taking any case which is out of its jurisdiction. So the answer is prohibition, that is 2. So it is issued by a higher court to a lower court to stop proceedings in a particular case where it has no jurisdiction. Where it has, in the sense the lower court has no jurisdiction. It has taken if it has taken a case out of its jurisdiction, then the prohibition writ will be issued by the higher court to the lower court. And the last one is quo warranto, that is by what authority. This is issued by the court to a person who has illegally held a public office. That is by what authority you are holding this public office. So that is the writ issued by the court to question that particular person. Coming to the next question, match the articles of the Constitution, list 1 with the subjects. List 2. Article 155, 201, Articles 213, Articles 312. So here to the right side we have to match. First thing, here we have to see that as we are civil service aspirants, we should be knowing that Article 312 deals with all India services. Okay, so the next easy one to match here is Article 213. See, according to Article 123, the President can introduce ordinances when the Parliament is not in session. So, the concurrent power of the Governor to issue ordinance deals with or is dealt by Article 213. So, Article 123 is for the President, Article 213 is for the Governor. So, both the articles, they deal with ordinance making power of the executive heads. So, here Article 213, instructions of the President required for the Governor to make ordinance relating to certain matters. So, these two are the most easiest to remember. So, here if we see the options, D for 1, D for 1. Okay, so D for 1, there are 2 options here. Next, C for 3. If you see that, C for 3. Okay, So out of these 4, we have eliminated these 2 by identifying the D option. Next, out of these 2, by seeing the C option, we eliminated this also. So the correct answer is 3. Now A2 and B4. A2, that is President's power to appoint governor. So governor is the executive head of a state. So he is appointed by the president. Now it is B4. Bills reserved for consideration of the president by the governor. As per Article 201, if a bill is passed in the state legislative assembly and it goes for governor's consent, he can give consent to the bill, or he can reject the ordinary bill, or he can reserve the bill for the consent of the president. So this privilege of the governor to reserve the state bill, that is the state legislative assembly bill, for consideration of the president is dealt with Article 201. So the correct answer is this one, that is 3. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding calling attention. Calling attention is a kind of motion called in the parliamentary session. That is, it is a device, one of the devices used in parliamentary sessions. It is an Indian innovation in the parliamentary procedure. So it is not being adopted by any other foreign constitution, but it is an Indian innovation in the parliamentary procedure. Yes, it is introduced in the parliament by a member of parliament, that is MP, to call attention of a minister to a matter of urgent public importance and seek an authoritative statement from him on that matter. Yes, if any member of parliament needs any information regarding a policy, the concerned minister will be the calling attention motion will be introduced in order to seek the opinion of the concerned minister on that particular matter of public importance, and also seek an authoritative statement, that is an accountable answer from him on that matter. Accountable answer. The minister has to explain the matter. It involves an element of censure against the government. Censure in the sense not in approval with. That is, they are against the decision, not in approval with. With respect to calling attention motion, there is no censure against the government. So this option is wrong. It is usually the censure motion will be called, or a privilege motion will be called, or a no confidence motion will be called. In that case, there will be an element of censure against the particular minister or against the council of ministers. But in case of calling attention motion, there is no such censure, there will be no such censure against the government. Just the MP calls the calling attention motion and the respective minister has to reply to the queries asked by the MP. So there will be no such element as censure. Unlike 0R, 0R is also one of the devices used in parliamentary proceedings, which finds no mention in the rules of procedure. So both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have their own rule books of procedures. So 0R, unlike 0R, which finds no mention in the rules of procedure, 0R, 0R is not mentioned in the rules of procedure. The calling attention is mentioned in the rules of procedure. Yes, calling attention motion is mentioned in the rules of procedure of Lok Sabha. Hence, which of the above statements are correct? Except C, all the 3 statements are correct. That is A, B and D. So the correct option is 3. Okay. So here we can see, like the 0R, It is also an Indian innovation. It is means the calling attention motion is also an Indian innovation, just like the zero hour in the parliamentary procedure, and it has been in existence since 1954. So since 1954 the calling attention motion has been used. However, unlike the zero hour, it is mentioned in the rules of procedure book. It is mentioned. Next, consider the following statements regarding the Committee on Public Undertakings. See, in Parliament, there is a concept called standing committees and ad hoc committees. Okay, they are the committees set up. Standing committees or permanent committees, whereas ad hoc committees or temporary committees, they are set up among the members of the Parliament. So in the standing committees there are other committees like financial committees. So financial committees is one of the types of standing committee. Okay, under these financial committees there are in total 3 committees. So this Committee on Public Undertakings is one of the 3 financial committees set up. So it is permanent in nature, that is, it is a standing committee. The committee consists of 22 members. Yes, the committee consists of 22 members. 15 are from Lok Sabha and 7 are from Rajya Sabha. The members of the committee are elected by the Parliament every year. Yes, every year the members keep on changing. The MPs will be elected, but they are not supposed to nominate a minister as a member of this standing committee. Only MPs will be elected. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the speaker from among its members drawn from the Lok Sabha. Though the standing committees on public undertakings has members both from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the chairman of the committee is appointed by the speaker from the members of the Lok Sabha only. Yes, the chairmanship of the committee is rotated among the members drawn from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. No, as I told, the chairman of the committee will be compulsorily appointed by the speaker only among the members drawn from the Lok Sabha. Hence, any member of the Rajya Sabha cannot become the chairman of the Committee on Public Undertakings. So, these 3 are correct statements, whereas this is wrong. So, which of the following statements are correct? A, B and C. Here given in the explanation, the committee was created in 1964 on the recommendation of Krishna Menon Committee. In 1974, its membership was raised from 22. The members of this committee are elected by the Parliament every year from among its own members according to the principle of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. The term of office of the member is 1 year. A minister cannot be elected as a member. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the speaker from among its members who are drawn from the Lok Sabha only. Thus, the members of the committee who are from the Rajya Sabha cannot be appointed as the chairman. This is next question actually. Let us consider it as first question only. There is some mistake in numbering. Which of the following statements regarding the pardoning power of the President is or are correct? He has the pardoning power in respect of a sentence by a court martial. He can grant reprieve respite in case of punishment for an offence against any law of the land, union or state. He alone can pardon a death sentence or a sentence of death. Select the code for the correct answer from the options given below. A only, C only, A and C only, A, B and C. So coming to the pardoning power of the President, Article 72 deals with pardoning power of the president. So the president has the power to pardon 3 cases. He can pardon a death sentence. He can pardon a sentence issued by a court martial, that is military court. Third one, the president can grant reprieve and respite, that is changing the nature of the punishment or reducing the punishment. In case of punishment for an offence against any law of the land, union or state. For under Article 72, for the president has the power to grant reprieve and respite in case of punishment for an offence against any law of the land by the union, not the state. So this privilege is given for the governor. Hence, a governor can grant reprieve respite in case of punishment for an offence against any law of the land of the state. Okay. So the president has the privilege to grant reprieve and respite only against any offence against any law of the union and not the state. Hence, only these 2 statements are correct under Article 72, that is A and C only. Match the committees of the Constituent Assembly with their chairman. So when the Constituent Assembly was set up in 1946 to form or frame a constitution of our own, there were separate committees set up and each committee was headed by an important personality. So here are certain committees and who they were headed by. So we have to match here. You should know the important committees and who headed such committees. Here, Union Constitution Committee. This was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. We should see here, this is A, this is B, this is C and this is D. Okay. So C, Union Constitution Committee was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. So where is C? C4. All options have got C as 4. Now, Provincial Constitution Committee, it was headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Now it is D3. Here except this D, here it is 3 and as well as here it is 3. So only one we got eliminated. Now coming to House Committee and Order of Business Committee. Whereas House Committee, it is B. Pattabi Sitaramaya. Order of Business Committee, that is K.M. Munshi. A2, B1. Where is A2, B1? It is here. In this case, even after knowing 2 options, we were not able to eliminate all the other options. Even we knew Union Constitution Committee was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru because they were the main committees. They had more role to play, Union Constitution Committee as well as Provincial Constitution Committee. So even after knowing these 2, we cannot use the complete elimination method in this case because by guarantee we have to know the other 2 options as well. So to be in the safer side, we should know which all important committees were headed by which all important personalities. The autonomous, this is next question, let us consider it as 2. The autonomous district councils in tribal areas have executive power, have no judicial power, have no legislative power. Which of the following statements or above statements is or are correct? A and B only, A and C only, A only, C only. Here, these autonomous district councils in tribal areas. So they come under Schedule 6 of the Constitution. We know there are 12 schedules of our Indian Constitution. Schedule 6 deals with the tribal areas in 4 states, that is Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. The tribal areas of these 4 states are dealt under Schedule 6. Okay. So the autonomous districts in these tribal areas are set up by the governor. So each autonomous district will be having its own autonomous district council. Every autonomous district council will be having 30 members, out of which 4 will be nominated by the governor and other 26 will be elected among the people. Among the people in the sense among the tribal people, because it is a tribal areas. So these are the autonomous district councils. Now they have executive power. Yes, they function independently. They have executive power, have no judicial power. This is wrong, because the autonomous district councils under Schedule 6 are very much powerful. They can set up their own trial village courts and they can handle certain civil as well as criminal cases. Hence, they will be having judicial power, have no legislative power. Even this is wrong, because the autonomous district councils, they can make their own laws on certain local subjects such as fishing, mining, shifting cultivation, land leasing. On such local issues, local matters, they can form their own laws. Hence, the autonomous district councils and tribal areas will be having all 3 parts: executive, judicial as well as legislative. So here only A is correct answer, that is A only, that is 3, option 3. Which Amendment Act is known as Anti-Defection Act? 52nd, 62nd, 69th, none of the above. So as the explanation itself suggests, the 10th schedule was added, popularly known as Anti-Defection Act. It was included in 1985 by 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1985. So as per it, which person can be or which legislator can be disqualified on the grounds of Anti-Defection Act? If a member of a house belonging to a political party voluntarily gives up the membership of his political party, or if he votes or does not vote in the legislature contrary in the sense opposite to the directions of his political party. If a person do such things, if he voluntarily gives up the membership of his political party, or if he votes, or if he does not vote, or that means if he takes any decision contrary to the direction given by his political party, then he can be considered as disqualified under the Anti-Defection Act. So other than these, the other 2 options available are: if any independent candidate after winning the election, if he joins any political party, even he can be disqualified under Anti-Defection Act, or if any nominated member joins a political party after 6 months after he become a member of the legislature, then he can be disqualified. Here we have to see that if a nominated member joins a party 6 months after he becomes a member of the legislature, he can be disqualified. That means if a nominated member joins a political party 6 months before he becomes a member, then he will not be disqualified. Okay, so if any nominated member, if he joins any political party after winning the elections, but before 6 months, he will not be disqualified. He will be disqualified on grounds of anti-defection if he joins any political party after 6 months. So this is 52nd Amendment Act of 1985. Next question. Chronologically arrange the following chief ministers of Karnataka in ascending order. Shri Virendra Patil, Shri Kadidal Manchappa and Shri Gundu Rao. Here it is Shri Kadidal Manchappa, Shri Virendra Patil and Shri Gundu Rao is the correct answer. Kadidal Manchappa, he held his office from 1956, Virendra Patil from 1968 to 1971, Shri Gundu Rao from 1980 to 1983. So far, including the present chief minister, Karnataka has seen 23 chief ministers. After Karnataka became Mysore's independent, it has seen 23 chief ministers. The first one was KC Reddy. Okay. The 23rd chief minister is Shri Basavaraj Bommai. Which of the following states and the year of their creation are incorrectly matched? Andhra Pradesh 1956, Maharashtra 1960, Arunachal Pradesh 1987, none of the above. Here the answer is none of the above because all are correctly matched. In 1953, the first state based on linguistic basis was formed, that is Andhra. The portion of Telugu speaking people was separated from the Madras state and the Andhra was created in 1953. So once there were demands all over the country to create other states based on linguistic basis, different state reorganization commissions were established, and after that full-fledged states were not completely on linguistic basis, but yes, even that criteria was taken into consideration while forming the states. So later on, after 1956, other states were formed. So Andhra Pradesh was formed in 1956, correct, by merging of Andhra, that is this 1953 Andhra, and Telangana, Telugu speaking people. Now Maharashtra, Gujarat and Maharashtra became parts, they were before parts of Bombay state. They were separated from Bombay state and made as two separate states, that is Gujarat and Maharashtra in 1960. Similarly, Arunachal Pradesh 1987. It was formed in 1987. It was given full-fledged state status. Before 1987, it was a union territory. So along with Arunachal Pradesh, even Goa and Mizoram were union territories. In 1987, all three were given the statehood, that is Sikkim, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. So here all the respective states with their year of creation is correctly matched. So none of the above is the correct answer. The Delimitation Commission of India determined that the total number of parliamentary seats allocated to Karnataka be in the following ratio. Delimitation Commission is in the sense it delimits the territorial boundaries for the state as well as Lok Sabha elections. So the Delimitation Commission order was passed in 2008. So as per that order, the seats allocation for Karnataka is as follows. Out of 28 Lok Sabha seats, Karnataka is having 28 Lok Sabha seats. 5 seats should be reserved for scheduled castes and 2 for scheduled tribes. Out of 28 Lok Sabha seats, 7 seats should be reserved for scheduled castes and 5 for scheduled tribes. So out of these two, this is correct. So out of 28 Lok Sabha seats, 5 are reserved for SCs and 2 for STs. Now, out of 224 assembly seats, 76 seats should be reserved for SCs and 28 for STs. Out of 224 assembly seats, that is Karnataka State Legislative Assembly seats, 36 seats should be reserved for scheduled castes and 15 for STs. So out of these two, this is correct. That is 36 and 15. Here 5 and 2. So A and D are correct. So this is the correct one. This was passed as per Delimitation Commission Order 2008. The Panchayat Raj Act 1993 in Karnataka came into force on 30th May 1993, 30th April 1993, 10th May 1993, 10th April 1993. So, Panchayat Raj in the sense that is decentralization of power, local governments. So, even before constitution recognition of panchayats, even before that, Karnataka had passed its own Karnataka Panchayat Raj Act in 1983, which came into effect in 1984 or 5. Okay. So, during this period, there was no constitutional status for the Panchayat Raj Act. However, by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, the Panchayat Raj was constitutionalized. Then the Panchayat Raj Act 1993 was passed again by the Karnataka state government. So, all over the country, the Panchayat Raj Act came into force from 24th April 1993. But in Karnataka, the Karnataka state government passed the Panchayat Raj Act 1993, which came into force on 10th May 1993. This is very important for KPSC students. We have to know each and everything about the Karnataka Panchayats, its functioning, its working, how it came into existence. So, what was the status before constitutionalization of Panchayat bodies? Okay. So, it came into effect from 10th May 1993. So, because of 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, Part 9 was added to the Constitution and Schedule 11 was added, which has 29 items to deal. That is Article 243 deals with Panchayat Raj. The President of India enjoys which of the following veto powers? It's considered as 7th question. Absolute veto, that is withholding of assent to the bill passed by the legislature. Qualified veto, which can be overridden by the legislature with a high majority. Suspense veto, which can be overridden by the legislature with an ordinary majority. Pocket veto, that is taking no action on the bill passed by the legislature. President of India enjoys only 3 veto powers, that is absolute veto, suspense veto and pocket veto, A, C and D. So, what are these veto powers? Absolute veto is withholding of assent to the bill passed by the legislature. Once the legislature, both the houses of the parliament passes the bill, then that bill will be sent for the consent of the president. So, he can withhold the assent to the bill. Not in case of money bill or constitutional amendment bill, but in case of ordinary bills, the president can use this absolute veto by withholding of assent to the bill. Next one is suspense veto, which can be overridden by the legislature with an ordinary majority. Now, the president, once he receives the bill, he can send back the ordinary bill for the reconsideration of the parliament. In that case, the parliament will pass the bill with or without any amendments by simple majority, that is ordinary majority, that is majority of the members present and voting, that is called simple majority or ordinary majority. Now, the parliament passes the bill with simple or ordinary majority and it returns back the bill to the president, and in this case president has to give his assent to the bill. He again cannot send it back for the reconsideration or he cannot withhold his veto. So this is suspense veto, that is suspense veto can be exercised by the president only once. Pocket veto, that is taking no action on the bill passed by the legislature. If a bill is sent for the president, he can either reject the bill or he can do nothing and keep the bill as it is without taking any action. So that bill will get lapsed, that is pocket veto, that is taking no action on the bill passed by the legislature. So Indian president has these three veto powers. Anyways, this qualified veto will be available with the US president, not Indian president. US president has the privilege of qualified veto, but Indian president has only the privileges of these three vetoes: absolute, suspense as well as pocket. So the last one is the correct option. The State Reorganization Commission 1953 was formed under the chairmanship and membership of State Reorganization Commission 1953. As I told, in 1953, the first state of Andhra was created based on linguistic basis. After that, many states all over the country, they needed states to be formed based on linguistic basis, language basis. For that, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he appointed a State Reorganization Commission headed by Fazl Ali. He was the retired Supreme Court judge. Then the members were Kunsru and Panikkar. It is called FPK committee. Fazl Ali, Panikkar and Kunsru committee. So this committee gave a report and based on it submitted its report in 1955. Based on the recommendations, then the bills were passed to make changes to the constitution and to administer the reorganization of the states. Hence, on November, based on the report of FPK committee, on November 1st, 1956, 14 states and 6 union territories were created. Though the committee recommended language as one of the criteria for the states or reorganization, it did not approve one language, one state basis. So on November 1st, 1956, 14 states and 6 UTs were created, and out of 14 states, Mysore state was one, which got its name as Karnataka during Devraj Arras period on November 1st, 1973. Mysore became Karnataka on November 1st, 1973 during Devraj Arras rule. So the correct answer is A, FPK, Fazl Ali, KM Panikkar and HN Kunsru. This is a very general question. More than polity related question, we can say it as current affairs related question. We have to match the chairman with the respective committees they headed. Here, Committee on Civil Service Reforms, Committee on Police Reforms, Committee on Status of Muslims, Committee on Corporate Governance. Here we all know, as civil service aspirants, we should know Committee on Civil Service Reforms. It was headed by PC Hota. So here we can go for this A1 and this one. Now, Committee on Status of Muslims, that is Committee on Minorities. It was one of the famous committees set up. It was headed by Rajinder Sachar. The committee itself is known as Sachar Committee on Minorities. So that is C goes to 2. So here C, to out of these two, this is also eliminated. So we can directly take this. So Committee on Civil Service Reforms by P.C. Hota, Committee on Status of Muslims, that is Minorities, by Rajinder Sachar. So here comes this. Committee on Police Reforms, Soli Sorabji. Committee on Corporate Governance, Naresh Chandra. So other committees here we have given Center-State Relations. It is very important for polity. Center-State Relations, Sarkaria Commission and Panchi Commission. Insurance Reforms, it was Malhotra Committee. Next question. It shall be the duty of the Union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance, and ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution. Which among the following articles of the Indian Constitution deals with the above? Article 355, 356, 352, 358. So we know Article 352 deals with national emergency. I had explained it in the last class. When there is any security issues in any state or any part of the country due to war or external aggression or armed rebellion, then the national emergency is declared. That is Article 352. 356, if the governor or the president of India is of the opinion that the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, then based on Article 355, that is, it is the duty of the Union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance, and ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. So based on this Article 355, which tells so and so, the governor can recommend the president to impose president rule as per Article 356 in that particular state. These are the two types of emergency, and the other one is Article 360 that deals with financial emergency. So there are three types of emergency provisions provided in the Constitution: national emergency, president's rule, as well as Article 360 which deals with financial emergency. And the last one, Article 358. Article 358 deals with the suspension of the enforcement of Article 19, that is right to freedom of speech and expression during national emergency. So Article 19 enforcement is automatically suspended as per Article 358 during national emergency, that is Article 352. So any action taken by the government officials against the public will not be considered as violation of Article 19 even after the national emergency is removed. Hence, the enforcement of Article 19 will be completely suspended during national emergency as per Article 358. So, out of these four options, so this is the correct one. This is the in Article 355 deals with the so and so. In next session, let us study the polity questions of KAS 2020 paper.